everybody. Super quick little stream we're doing today. I got a question asked in the Ableton user groups about formant filters and getting sounds. And there's a technique I use. I'm sure I stole it from Mr. Bill or Tom Cosm or one of these guys. Let me mute this quickly and I'll show you. This is just a bass that I've made previously. Big fat bass, bit of distortion and LFO, some movement on there. And this is what we're going to have a look at creating. I've not set up the whole thing yet, only one of them, but if I move this over here, we'll do this. You. Yeah, Tipper, Mr. Bill, you kind of thing. It's not a massively complex rack, but it does involve a lot of things, a lot of techniques that are just inbuilt Ableton stock stuff. And once you use these techniques, you can build up some pretty big, gnarly effects racks. So let's just jump into it quick. Come into Audio Effects, EQ8, and for sake of the example, we're just going to use the built-in AEIOU valves, but you can do whatever you want, make your own ones up. That would be encouraged, I suppose. So we're just going to drag it into your track, Control G to group it, and then press all three of these buttons open so we can see inside the chain select itself, and our macros. And over here they've got hide. We just want to select chain mode. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different EQs. So what way can we do it? Can we drag all of them? No, I didn't think we could. So we'll just one at a time drag them in. Now what is actually really quite fun about this chain is depending on the order of these effects completely changes how it goes I-yeah or Y-O. So if you want to get really in depth, you can actually build up how much you want the sound to sound, or if you just don't care and want it to make very crazy noises, put it in whatever order. So drag all of these onto here. I'll rename them in a second. And you want to right click, distribute ranges equally. Is that right? Maybe I need to make it a bit bigger. Oh, Z. Grab all of them. Make them a bit bigger. Right click, distribute ranges equally. Make them the size of the whole thing. Distribute ranges equally. That's not right. The whole thing. Distribute equally. There we go. So once you drag these to be the whole length from 0 to 127, right click, distribute ranges equally, and then that gives us each of our chains down in order. So let me just rename these quickly. A, E, I, O, O, E, U, and U, U. And then, this is the magic, we're going to map this little blue selector here to macro 1. So what we've done now is created all of these different EQ8s to send this signal through. Now there's something that I do, like it's kind of a neuro technique, neuro sine compression is where I first heard about it, but the whole point is effects and compressors makes a big difference where you put things. So if you want to compress the signal before making these effects, these changes, it's not really going to do much to these effects. These effects are going to then just have a compressed signal, whereas compressing it afterwards is going to accentuate anything you've done beforehand. So let's just take this compressor. That's just the glue compressor, threshold down to catch a peak. So you'll do that, make up fast attack, fast release, high ratio, soft clip on, just because soft clip is nice to not have hard clip. So let's just see without the compressor on. We'll move this audio down here, and what we have is compressor on. So that's totally cool. That would get you halfway there. That's got some nice movement and nice sound on it. The second stage is actually automating the movement of the EQs themselves. So this gives you an A vowel sound, but it's all up in that the same frequency range, all of it. See each of these, it's all up in that kind of 1K, 5K region. So the next step we want to do, map again, and we're going to come to the first one, A, frequency 1, map it to macro 2. On frequency, macro 2. Straight away it gets pinged down there, so what we're going to do is bring it up about halfway and then adjust accordingly. So frequency, let's drag these in the other order. Frequency 1, we want it about there. Go 2, map there. I'll just map all of them first. Let's do that. Frequency 3, map there. 4, map there. And now we can see we've totally lost the shape, so we just need to rebuild that up here in our mapping settings. So frequency 1, the next frequency 2, we don't want to go as low as frequency 1. Frequency 3, up again a bit more. Frequency 4, up again a bit more. We see just build a little pyramid, and then we're going to do the opposite on the other side. So frequency 4 is going to go to the top. That one's going to come down a bit, and to visually see this, we can move the macro up. That one's going to come down a bit. This one's going to come down a bit, and this one's going to come down a bit. So now with this macro, we can leave that open if you want to see it, we have this. So maybe that's a little wide there. We can bring the bottom in a bit, and actually we probably don't want it that low because that's super nasty sub frequencies, so we bring all of them up a bit more. Yeah, something like that. And then let's look at the top again, bring that one down a bit as well. So let's move our chain selector so that it's on A, which is our first one we've got, and then we can mess with this macro. So we now have, oh no, our chain's in the wrong place, down here, whoop, and then we've got, what have I done wrong? Oh, I've done it on the wrong one. Oh, let me just press map again. I've got it on both of them now, so did I not do it on that one? Oh, I did. Oh, sorry everyone, I've lost my marbles. That moves that. You're on that. There we go. So now, the boring bit is doing this for each of these different formant sounds. So we'll go to the second one, and it's up to you whether you want to map it to separate macros for each one. You can map everything to one macro, so it goes down from a low R all the way up to a high U. What I like to do is map all of the frequencies to macro 2, so I have one frequency knob and then one chain selector, which is your vowel selector, I suppose. So let's go vowel. Can I spell? Yeah, maybe. And then frequency. So a little bit boring, but let's just do this quick. We'll go to E, and then we're going to go 1, frequency, map, 2, frequency, map, 3, frequency, map, 4, frequency, map. Then look over here, we've got the E's, and we're going to do the same thing. You can do it exactly the same if you want, or just rough it out. I'm just going to do a rough pyramid, and then inverse pyramid on this side. Boom, that should be that one. Let's check it. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yep, does something. I, same thing. 1, frequency, map. 2, frequency, map. 3, frequency, map. 4, frequency, map. Stop to take a drink because I'm saying frequency map so many bloody times. I move away from the mic so you can't hear me breathe. Okay, that's I. Check it again. Boom. Frequency. D, 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 D. Does a thing. O. Frequency. Map. 2. Frequency. Map. 3. Frequency. Map. Did I do that? I don't know if I did it. Yeah, probably did it. Okay. 3. Frequency. Map. No, 3 didn't work. 3. Frequency. Map. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll bring that up a bit, up a bit, up a bit, up a bit, down a bit, down a bit, down a bit. Quick, give it a check. Nice. This one, map, you. This one, map, you. Oh, no, you got to click the map button, boys. No, if you try and rush it, it all goes tits. So take your time. Remember that once you've built this once, it's done. You can drag it in your library and reuse it whenever you want. So same again, we'll go down, down, down a bit. We'll start from 60. Let's go 158. Let's go 308. Let's go there. OU. Deep breath, guys. Frequency, map. 2, frequency, map. 3, frequency, map. 4, frequency, map. Come over here, go down, 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 and up, 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 and up a bit more. Double check you. Whoop, 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 whoop. Not as much movement on that one. I think I'm getting lazy, but you know, you can always adjust this afterwards. Frequency, map. 2, frequency, map. 3, frequency, map. 4, frequency, map. Go down, inverse, and then up, 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 up. That should be all of them now with this. So let's show automation in new lane. We can turn that map mode off. We can hide that chain. We could even close this and close that entirely. And now we have 2 knobs, frequency, show automation in new lane, and we can B to draw and go blue. Oh, let's turn that down a bit off and go, and then the vowel itself, we can show automation and go, and now we should have something that goes like those bits that sound horrible are because it's jumping from high to low, because I just drew it in totally randomly. If instead we were to actually mess around with this, so we'll do this and we can record some automation in. If we had the track armed, that is, we could record some automation in. Oh no, I need to have it on. Oh, I can't remember how to do this. I literally always draw my automation. But yeah, you could record it in if you weren't a dunce like me, and then same with the vowel. So we could draw some nicer curves in and whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So the other thing being, like I said, let me delete that, delete that, delete that. Open the chain back up. The order of these guys does make a difference. So if you are particularly looking for R, E, O, you can move the O. Moving it like this won't actually help. This is the bit you need to move. If you move that to where that one is, that to where that one is, now you have I, O. Take the frequency down. And again, the jumpiness comes from the fact that I've done it randomly, as in I've not set it up perfectly. So when it's jumping from E to O, you can see it's going from the majority of these frequencies to those frequencies. So that's not too bad a jump. From O to I isn't going to sound as nice, just because the jump frequencies isn't quite there. So one way you could compensate that if you wanted to was duplicate. I'm just duplicating. I could have added a new chain. I don't know why I duplicated. Anyway, I've done it now. So duplicate your chain, bring it to the whole thing, and then that's your dry channel. That's always going to be selected. So now whatever you want to do with this, you can cut out the lows, or you could cut out the lows on the other ones, or however you wanted to have more control over those frequencies. So let's say I'm going to cut the lows out of this. So we've just got that in the middle now, which is nice. And I probably should cut the lows out of the rest of these and add another sub in if I was going to go full neuro usability on it. But so yeah, whatever stage you want to use it in its initial stage without the frequency movement, just moving between the vowels, or if you want to go full frequency movement, or if you want to add more effects after that, macro mapped to this chain select, and then you can move through all of those different effects as however you want. So yeah, that's it, guys. Probably took way longer than I thought it would, but thanks for tuning in. This is Stonx Music. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.